Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Cadet First Class Club at West Point for a special spring edition of This Week in Army Football. Great to be back. First time we've been with you since December, and we are getting ready for Army Football 2025, getting ready to wrap up the spring season tomorrow night with the annual Black and Gold game, 6:30 kick time at Michie Stadium. And great to be back with you streaming on video on Army West Point Athletics YouTube channel. So much has gone on this spring, so much to talk about, not only for Army spring football, but a huge day coming up Saturday for the Army men's and women's lacrosse programs. 2 stars on the line, the men taking on Navy down in Annapolis, and the women's team hosting the midshipmen at 2:30 here at Michie Stadium come Saturday. So it's great to be back. Great to be back at the Firsty Club. Great to be talking Army athletics, and great to be back with Army football coach Jeff Monk. And how about a big This Week in Army Football welcome to the leader of this Army football program. And Jeff, welcome back to your show. And we are right near the end of what's been a interesting spring.
Interesting for weather, that's for sure. I love football, and I love being out there, and we could practice and play year round. It's fun to be back out there and hear the pads popping, and tomorrow night's going to be a lot of fun playing a spring game under the lights, Friday night lights in the middle of April. That's pretty good stuff. There's Elijah Riley, my man. Good to see you, pal.
I run into Elijah Riley everywhere. I think it was in Hackensack, New Jersey a few months ago. I saw Elijah, so it's great seeing him back.
I saw him at a coach's clinic out on Long Island about a month ago, and gosh, I'm so proud of him. He's a new dad. He's got a beautiful wife, and just having so much success. We're so proud of him. But I am excited about the game tomorrow night, but I'm excited about these lacrosse games coming up. What great seasons Michelle Tumalo and Joe Alvarez are having with their teams, and stars on the line, the opportunity to win the Star Cup, the Star Series.
That would be great.
And so I know a lot for those teams on the line, and I'm excited to watch them this weekend as well.
Also, some big news since the last time we have had an Army football coaches show. I saw Elijah spending some time with a fellow native Long Islander, Tom Theodorakis, named the 31st athletic director here at West Point back in February. So great to welcome Theo.
We are
moving up to that AD spot.
We congratulate him. He's been here with us almost 3 years, and it's fantastic to see one of our own be able to move up and get in that top leadership position. He's doing a great job, just really supportive of all of our teams, and what he's done the last 3 years, I think everybody recognized, and it earned him the opportunity to be the AD here.
Okay, so we're jumping around here as Elijah Riley walked in during our opening segment. So usually with your Army spring football games, honorary captains come back, and it is amazing the kind of pedigree and the legacy many Army football players are leaving and moving on to the National Football League, and including Elijah, you welcome 3 of those NFL Black Knights back.
We're so excited to have those guys back. I think our players are really looking forward to meeting them and having them on the sideline with us, to have Elijah, Cole Christensen, John Radigan all back. We actually invited all the guys that are playing currently on NFL teams, and a couple of those guys had other obligations, and we certainly understand that. But it's great to have these 3 guys back. We're so proud of them, proud of all those guys to represent West Point and Army football and the NFL. Those are the best players on the face of the planet playing this sport. So for those guys to be a part of those teams and a part of that league is really a source of pride for all of us.
Another Super Bowl ring for a Black Knight. Now, we won't say that around Cole Christensen because his Kansas City Chiefs fell short to the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 59. And who was out there at center for the final couple of drives for the Eagles? None other than Brett Toth snapping the football.
So happy for him and for Cole. You know, Cole's got 2 Super Bowl rings. He's played in 3 in a row, which is incredible. Just the guys play decade in the league, some 2 decades in the league, and never get a chance to play in that game. He's got to play in 3 and has won 2 of them. So happy for him and the success he's had with the Chiefs, and certainly for Brett. They were there and didn't win it, and then were able to come back and get it this year. And what a great game. So happy for Brett, and he's got some staying power. He's been in that league for a good while, and that's hard to do. So really proud of him.
And Cole Christensen, remember, 2 Super Bowls ago against the 49ers, made a big play in that game.
Yes, he did.
On the muffed punt. Was able to bury a potential player on the 49ers who was going to recover the football.
Yes, he did. Good to see him out there making those plays. And I love seeing those guys out there just being able to play this great game and extend their careers. And I hope it'll last a long time for all of them.
What have been your impressions of Army Spring Football 2025? And I'm sure, Jeff, you couldn't wait to get back on the football field after 2024 ended.
I was eagerly anticipating our return to the field, and really, I think for me every year it's the same. To try to put the last season behind us as quickly as possible and move on to the next one. And we had a lot of things to celebrate in 2024 and some unfinished business that we hope we can answer this year. And so excited to get back out there. We've got some veteran players that really kind of led us through the spring, and a lot of young guys that haven't gotten the experience like a guy like Casey Larkin and a guy like Paolo Generali and Brady Small, and you think of those guys, Elo Mendoza and Donovan Platt, guys that played a lot of football for us. There's a lot of guys now that are going to have to fill those holes for some really good senior players, and it's been fun to watch them compete and really find out who's going to rise up the depth chart and be in the mix. So that's been fun, and I think we'll find out a lot about some guys tomorrow night. And we've been through 14 practices, but always in the spring game, it's remarkable that there are guys that will show up tomorrow night that will kind of raise our eyebrows, and we'll see some things out of them. So I'm eager to see that tomorrow.
Quarterback, where are you at that position?
I think that we've got 3 guys that really are in the mix and competing. Dwayne Coleman obviously has the most experience, and frankly right now is playing the best as a quarterback, and he just does a really good job moving the team up and down the field. Very talented guy. And then Ethan Washington, who is just a super talented player and played at our prep school in really what was a different scheme, and then this year cut his teeth on the scout team, or excuse me, on the depth as a freshman. Did not play in the scout team. Traveled with us and got lots of reps in practice, but not many game reps. So he's in the mix, obviously because of his talent and his ability. And then Cale Helms, who I think is just a guy that makes plays when he gets in there, and I wouldn't be surprised tomorrow night if he makes some really, really good plays, because that he's just kind of a gamer. But he's coming along. He doesn't have the experience that Dwayne has, and probably is just kind of battling it out to try to get himself to to preseason camp coming out of spring ball, and still be in the mix. And I think all 3 of those guys could be our quarterback. And if any one of them were the starter in the first game and played the season for us next year, I think we'd have a chance to be successful on offense. And that's outstanding to be in that position. So, the truth is they're all battling out. I think right now Dwayne's got the upper hand and he's in front. But I'm glad to know that he's got some competition behind him. That'll be good for him. It'll be good for the whole position, and it'll be good for our team.
What's the format for the spring game?
It's a game. So you hear a lot about spring games being glorified workouts and 7-on-7 and 1-on-1 pass rush and those kinds of things. We're playing a game. We've split our team, a draft style where you got the 2 top quarterbacks split and the 2 top inside linebackers split, and so we got the starting, what would be the starting offense if we played a game today on one side, and the starting defense, if we played a game today, would be there, and they're on opposite sides. So you really get your top players competing against each other, and then we divvied everybody else up. So it'll be kickoff to start the game. All the special teams as they normally would come up in a game, and we're going to play it out. As you know, you and I have been here together for a while. We've had games go down to the last-minute drives. We've had an overtime game, and we're going to play it out. So it'll be fun, and as I said, you find out about guys in probably that setting more than you do a controlled scrimmage or a practice.
When I think of cold, raw, evening Army football spring games, I think of Jabari Laws from a few years ago.
Yes.
A couple of touchdowns, right?
Yes.
That late night and a couple of touchdown runs late.
Pouring down rain.
Oh.
Was that the overtime game?
That was the overtime game. And we were waiting in the concourse on the south end of the stadium to do interviews, and the game was supposed to end.
Yes.
And then it just didn't end.
Well, the officials, as I recall, asked me, they come over, they said, "You're not going to play overtime, are you?" And I looked at them, I said, "Heck yeah, we're playing overtime.
Absolutely.
Let's go, tee it up." And so we played it out. It was a lot of fun, and our guys enjoy it. It's a great reward for our players, particularly the young guys who have never played in Michie Stadium, not played college football yet, though they've been here on our team, to be in that atmosphere, to have the entire team kind of counting on them to do their job at that particular moment. It's good. It's a great learning experience for them, and it's a lot of fun. So we're going to have fun tomorrow night.
It's like a stream of consciousness for me, thinking about Jabari Laws with that spring game. Look, whenever his name comes up, we've got to talk about that final drive against Missouri.
The guy's a legend. He's a legend.
He left a legend.
He did. He did. He had an up and down career because of injuries. And just the struggle of coming back from 2 ACL injuries, much like T-Rob, and to go in there on that final drive against Missouri and lead us down for that field goal. Nobody could have done that but him, and I'm so proud of him. And he walked into that game a backup quarterback, and he left an Army football legend.
Yeah, that's what you get when we're talking Army football. We'll go back to those great moments. There have been so many here in the decade plus. Jeff Monken has been the head coach, and remember that 2021 season, the opening game, he took those final snaps in the win at Georgia State. And I remember there being such a celebration because that was really his comeback. And he had so many injuries, no one knew what his role was going to be that year. And just the fact he could come on the field, take the final snaps, end of the first game, end of the final game. He's considered a hero by his teammates.
I'm glad you remembered that. I didn't recall that until you just said it. And I do remember how everybody ran out there and embraced him and lifted him up. And just the pride and the joy on his face. That's a great moment.
Oh, so many great moments. That's what's beautiful about Army football. And we're talking Army football, but we will talk a couple of segments of Army lacrosse. Coming up next, we're going to welcome Michelle Tumolo, our Army women's lacrosse head coach. And Jeff, you become a fan of lacrosse.
I never got to watch lacrosse growing up. They didn't have that on the south side of Chicago. But
South side of
man, it is awesome to watch Army play lacrosse. Men's, women's, they are tough and physical and fast. I love the rugged style of play, and I'm glad we're getting Michelle up here. She's a fantastic coach, one of the world's best lacrosse players, and
a legend,
and
right?
Now one of the best lacrosse coaches in the entire nation. So glad to have her coming up
Taking
here.
this program to the next level. Michelle Tumolo coming up next here on
get
this.
that star on Saturday.
And no doubt, this week in Army football, spring edition, back in just a moment, right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Ankle pain and limited mobility keeping you on the sidelines? Army West Point Athletics has joined forces with Stryker, an expert in foot and ankle surgical solutions. As one of the world's leading medical technology companies, Stryker offers innovative foot and ankle products that help you get back in the game and on your feet so you can keep doing what you love. Visit Stryker.com/WestPoint to learn more and find a specialized surgeon in your area so you can rediscover your freedom of movement.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Army West Point Athletics would like to thank the Black Knights Restaurant and Tavern partners. Brothers Barbecue, the preferred restaurant and catering partner of Army West Point Athletics. And O'Toole's Pub, the best place to celebrate the Black Knights, not only post-game, but any day. For more information, visit the restaurant and taverns portion of GoArmyWestPoint.com. That's GoArmyWestPoint.com. Support those who support the core.
And we are back at the Cadet First Class Club, our special spring edition of This Week in Army Football. Rich DeMarco joined by Army head coach Jeff Monken, now the first of what's going to be many special guests tonight, and that is the head coach of the Army women's lacrosse program, looking for the star against Navy on Saturday at Michie Stadium. And one of the great people we have here in this department and a head coach. How about This Week in Army Football? Welcome to Michelle Tumolo. Michelle, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, everybody.
So, a lot's changed, a lot hasn't changed. Start off, let's talk about your family.
Yeah.
Little Nell is now, what, a year?
1 year old.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking back to last year. It was like she was 2 days old. I can't believe I was even here, but I was. And now she's in the stand. I mean, not in the stands, but in the crowd here.
She's waving to us with your wife, Lara. There we go. Just wave. Beautiful little baby.
Yes, very lucky.
Jeff Monken, I'll tell you, these families grow up at West Point, yours included.
They've grown up here. I mean, being here 11 years, they're 21, 17, and 14. So 10, 6, and 3 when we got here. We've watched them grow up here at West Point. So this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, Michelle.
My wife always says she wants another baby, just not another kid. Babies are awesome, but then they turn into kids and they gets a little rough.
Now my wife will say she has 3 kids, the
You're
2 boys and me. Yeah, exactly. So I mean that's not untrue. Okay, so Michelle, you come here and it's interesting. This is a program, much like we're talking 10 years ago and things. This program essentially 10 years old, and you have taken it to another level. Obviously a big game coming up on Saturday. Tell our listeners, our viewers, a little bit about this season you've had, which I think after last year you really felt like there was a lot of unfinished business.
Of course, yeah. I could not be more proud of our group that we have. We have 33 players, 33 strong, incredible players, and I think this season has been a journey, and each game is a different chapter, and I feel like our goal is to grow each and every game and play our best every single game, and treat every single game as it's a championship. So no matter a ranked team, an unranked team, whatever it takes, we play that game exactly the same way each time. And I feel that we have 2 losses on our schedule that we wish we could have won, but we've learned from them, and we go on and truly believe we could beat a team like Stanford, a nationally ranked 5th ranked team in the country. They get the top recruits every single year, and if we knew if we took the field and played our best, we could beat them, and we did that, and we did it by 3 goals. So I'm very, very proud, and we got to take that momentum into our game this Saturday, because it's not going to be easy. We know that.
Jeff, when you think of what Michelle's done, and you obviously have a relationship with all these coaches, it's someone that when you talk to and you can see the connection with players, how important is that? Because you've done it and you've had to do it with an enormous roster, right? You can just sense with Michelle that connection and able to see into that player.
I think it's critically important, and I'm certain that her players respect her as a player. Likely a lot of them watched her play when they were kids, not to age you or anything like that.
That's true.
But they did, and they have so much respect for her knowledge for the game, her competitiveness, and she brings that to the team. And so there's instant credibility. But as you said, to have a program that's 10 years old and playing on a national level, beating nationally ranked teams with established programs been around for decades, is just awesome, and it speaks to the culture and the program that's been developed under Michelle's leadership. And man, it's awesome. I love watching them. I got a great view from my office.
You do.
I watched the end of that.
You should
Stanford
sell
game.
tickets.
Well, we had a junior day, and I had prospects coming to my office. So they come in and literally, I mean, and I'm here in the crowd, and I would say, excuse me, and standing up so I could see what was going on. And then the final few minutes of the game, I had a prospect walk in. I said, "Look, we're not going to sit down and talk. We're standing here watching this game." And so we watched them celebrate. It was awesome, and just so proud of Michelle and her staff and the ladies. It was awesome.
Michelle, question for you. I'm going to put you on the spot and just give us some insight here. You know, a lot of times your best coaches weren't the best players when they played, right? Many times they were program players. Sometimes they were walk-ons, really learned the craft. Arguably, and I don't, you're arguably the best women's lacrosse player of all time. What do you think, and not that you know anything different, but what's that biggest connection that you've had to make to translate from being a successful player to now having to coach players? Many of them need coaching. They're maybe not as naturally gifted as you are.
Yeah. Hire the right people, that make you look good. No, I think my biggest thing is I had a great experience in college, and I wanted to take everything I learned from one of the greatest players of all time in Gary Gait and take that to my own team and my own program. Yes, you can teach a player to be great on the field, but it's also about in the locker room and who you are as a teammate and a person, as a friend, a daughter, all the above. And I think that takes a player from good to great to excellent, and that's what I want to bring. And that's what I feel like I've brought into this program, and just truly believing in them, and having the players believe in themselves. If you have a team that believes in themselves, they can beat anybody. So, yeah, I really like teaching people behind the backs and trick shots and the fun stuff, but I hired incredible coaches in Charlotte Sofield on the defensive end and Sammy Cermak on the offensive end, and obviously Katie Irby as well. She was a Tewaaraton finalist, a Tewaaraton winner. That is the highest. That is a Heisman in football. So I have some of the best players that also are the best coaches as well, so make me look good.
So obviously we're talking Army football. We're talking Army lacrosse, and the Noto family head women's lacrosse coach at West Point. I know that means a lot to you, Anthony Noto, a former Army football player, now CEO of SoFi. What has his support meant to you, this program? And I know Stanford didn't come out here and do a home and home by chance. So if you could speak to what Anthony Noto, his family, have meant to your program.
Anthony's everything to me. He's amazing. I met him the day that I got this job, and I just have gotten so close with him. He's such a great person. He's also so motivating. He'll send me these long texts that motivate me, motivate the team, and he's so supportive. And he watches the game. He's a lacrosse dad, so he knows the game. He knows what needs to happen. He had a daughter that went to Stanford, so it was really cool for him he reached out before, during the game, and after. His support means the world. So yeah, we had gone out there last year, went to his house, just got to talk to him. He's just so down to earth. The man is so down to earth and so busy, and he always has time for me. So I'm very thankful for him, his wife, and all of his kids, and what he has done for the Army Women's Lacrosse program.
And Jeff, I know Anthony Noto, very important to your program as well.
He is, and just so proud of what he's done in his career beyond Army football, beyond the U.S. Army, and he loves this academy. He loves West Point. He's so proud to be associated with this academy, and any way that he can support and help grow our institution, our athletic department, and to see cadets succeed. And that really, it just comes from a servant's heart. He doesn't get out there and beat his chest about what he does. He just does it and supports our football program, our lacrosse program, and all our sports programs. So Anthony's a great friend to Army sports, Army football, Army lacrosse, and West Point.
Tons of human interest here with Michelle Tumolo, Noto family head women's lacrosse coach here at West Point. Now, you got to match it up a little bit on Saturday. Bridget Duffy, one of the nation's top lacrosse players, suits up for your squad. You guys won a gold medal over the summer. What are going to be the keys on Saturday against the Mids?
We need every single person on the team to play well and on the field to play well. Obviously, Bridget is a huge asset to our offense, our defense, in between the 30s, all the above. But we need everyone around her to also play to the level we know that they can play with. And Allison Riley on the attacking end as well. We're ready for anything. We just practiced this week very, very hard. We are just preparing them that it's going to be hard, that they're going to see double teams, they're going to see face guards, they're going to see fouls, they're going to see all the above, but we just have to give it harder, and we have to be smart and disciplined. And most of our team has felt what it feels to beat Navy, and we got to continue to spread that to the younger folks that get on the field as well, because it's the best feeling in the world. We all know that, but we got to make sure that we come prepared, and we are doing that right now in practice, so we're excited.
And we need the fans. 877-TIX-ARMY. Go Army. WestPoint.com. Michelle, how much do those home fans mean to your squad?
Huge. We have had an amazing year so far at home. All of our games have been amazing. You know, I have my family there, all 4 of my siblings, my parents, my in-laws, all of the above. I have friends coming from all over, and I know our team as well does too. So please come out, wear white if you're coming, dress warm. I know it's a spring sport. It is technically not spring, I don't feel yet, but we're so excited. Come out, see history, and the best rivalry in sport.
Well, Michelle, great to see you and the family. Best of luck on Saturday against the Mids.
Thank you.
Navy.
And good luck to your
Navy.
team.
Beat them.
Thank you. Beat them. Beat Navy. Thank
Michelle
you so much.
Tumolo, Noto family, head women's lacrosse coach here at West Point. Army and Navy, Saturday at 2:30 at Mikey Stadium. When we come back, we'll catch up with the head coach of the Army men's lacrosse program, Joe Alberisi, here on our spring edition of This Week in Army Football, right here on the Cadet First Class Club on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
What exactly does MCOR do? For healthcare facilities, we help keep patients and staff safe and comfortable. For data centers, we help the digital economy flow more reliably. For office buildings, we help make work environments secure, efficient, and compliant. In other words, for businesses and industries of every type, at MCOR, we build, power, service, and protect.
There's something for everybody to enjoy at West Point Family and MWR. Hit the links at our 18-hole golf course with breathtaking Hudson Valley scenery, or let us host your wedding at our top-class catering venue in the West Point Club. Morgan Farms Historic Stables offers large stalls, outdoor rings, and 3 different horse sporting options in a scenic and private location. Don't forget our very own Victor Constant Ski Lodge. Visit us at westpoint.armymwr.com and follow us on Facebook at West Point FMWR.
Life is full of adventures.
Do you take this man to be your husband?
I do. Welcome home.
We did it. He has your eyes.
He's perfect.
Make the most of them all with PenFed checking and savings accounts. Learn more at PenFed.org. Federally insured by NCUA. To receive any advertised product, you must become a member of PenFed Credit Union.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
With the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
What exactly does MCOR do? For healthcare facilities, we help keep patients and staff safe and comfortable. For data centers, we help the digital economy flow more reliably. For office buildings, we help make work environments secure, efficient, and compliant. In other words, for businesses and industries of every type, at MCOR, we build, power, service, and protect.
There's something for everybody to enjoy at West Point Family and MWR. Hit the links at our 18-hole golf course with breathtaking Hudson Valley scenery, or let us host your wedding at our top-class catering venue in the West Point Club. Morgan Farms Historic Stables offers large stalls, outdoor rings, and 3 different horse sporting options in a scenic and private location. Don't forget our very own Victor Constant Ski Lodge. Visit us at westpoint.armymwr.com and follow us on Facebook at West Point FMWR.
Life is full of adventures.
Do you take this man to be your husband?
I do. Welcome home.
We did it. He has your eyes.
He's perfect.
Make the most of them all with PenFed checking and savings accounts. Learn more at PenFed.org. Federally insured by NCUA. To receive any advertised product, you must become a member of PenFed Credit Union.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
And welcome back to the Cadet First Class Club. This week in Army football, the Army football spring game. Black and gold game coming up tomorrow night at Mikey Stadium, 6:30 kick time. Also, two huge lacrosse games this Saturday. Army and Navy on the women's and men's side. The women's game at home at Mikey Stadium, 2:30 p.m. start. The men, meanwhile, on the road in Annapolis. Army needing 2 stars to wrap up the Army-Navy Star Series presented by USAA. And now, is this year number 20?
Yes, it is, Rich.
Holy smokes.
Year number 20. Man. Jeff Monken's got a little ways to go.
That's unheard of.
To catch him.
Awesome.
And that is someone who's brought Army lacrosse to so much national heights and national exposure. He's got a top 10 team this year, and one which many feel is going to make a lot of noise in the NCAA tournament. How about a big welcome to the Jack Emmer head men's lacrosse coach here at West Point, Joe Alberici. Joe, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Rich. Thanks, Coach.
So this is it, Army-Navy. Big one on Saturday.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's its own season, and our guys are very motivated and excited to get after it down in Annapolis on Saturday.
Let's talk about your season this year. 9-1 on the year. That one loss, just a tough one to Boston. But outside of that game, your team has looked dominant among the top teams in the entire country. Give us a little snapshot of what your team's been able to do over the first 10 games.
Well, listen, it starts with our seniors. 22 of them. We haven't lost a guy yet, Rich. So all of the guys who showed up at prep school are still with us. Everybody who came in direct admission still with us, and then Coach is so gracious to lend us a guy every spring in Casey Reynolds, and he made 22, and very proud of him and what he's accomplished here on the gridiron and on the lacrosse field. So our seniors have led the way for us, and we're happy with where we're at, but certainly not content, and what's going to happen on Saturday has a big way of determining how you feel about your season.
Jeff, we had the Army football banquet this past Friday night, and you spend really a good amount of time talking about each and every firstie with your programming. Casey Reynolds, you made it very clear how valuable he is to 2 different athletic programs here at West Point.
It's hard to play one sport in college, and he does both. He does both of them really well. He certainly was a terrific player for us this year, and really, I think this year more than any, found a way to balance both lacrosse and football. And coming out of the spring playing lacrosse, it's not easy to make that transition. Miss a lot of time in spring ball. You miss workouts. But he just had a great senior season for us and meant a lot to our team and the success we had this year. And it's been fun to watch him play on the lacrosse team this year. And Joe does such an amazing job with these guys year in and year out. I mean, they can battle with anybody in the country. They're physical and rugged and fast, and just really admire the program. And I'm glad Casey's able to hold his own over there, because those are guys that are practicing lacrosse year round. And so he has to transition from football into lacrosse, and that can't be easy to do. So I think it speaks to his athleticism and just his determination to try to excel at 2 sports, and he's done it really well here.
Yeah.
Joe,
I would just want to add that around, you talk about one of the great leadership traits is persistence, and what Casey has done and what he's shown can be done here. To be a football player, that is a 9-month-a-year job. I mean, he's doing it for 9 months. Everybody else is doing it for 12, and then to turn around in our sport and play catch up, right from the opening whistle, and then throughout his career ends up becoming a contributor for us, and he's seeing minutes for us on Saturdays as he did last year, and to watch him have that terrific season and bring some of Coach's great culture that he has in his football program over to us, that work ethic, that toughness, is certainly something that we value.
Joe, let's talk about the non-league, and 2 wins really stand out. One from just a couple of weeks ago over the University of North Carolina, which was a top 5 team at the time, and you have a pretty good run against Atlantic Coast Conference opponents over the last several years. And a game early in the season against Rutgers, a 9-3 win, a Rutgers team that was really down at that point. Well, last weekend they just go out and beat number 2 Maryland. So how have those 2 games, different parts of the season, helped shape this year?
Yeah, listen, we want to test ourselves against the very best, and we're fortunate to do that in the Patriot League. There's a lot of national prominence within the Patriot League, but we also go out of conference, and I just saw recently there's a statistic versus ACC, Ivy League, and Big Ten schools over the last 10 games were 8-2 against that group. So
not too bad.
It's important for us. I think it's important for the for us on the national stage. It's important for the Patriot League to have teams battling against the very best and beating the very best in the country. So 2 good wins for us, 2 good home wins, and but we know our pathway to the NCAA runs through the Patriot League, and that's where our focus is.
Is that frustrating, though, knowing that if you don't win the automatic bid, the Patriot League maybe isn't looked at as some other conferences where historically the Patriot League and Patriot League teams have done very well in the NCAA tournament? Is that frustrating?
Well, listen, it's just part of what it is. There's 10 conferences. There's only 8 at-large bids. The ACC doesn't even have an at-large bid, so it just becomes a logjam of great teams that don't get in. And so we know what we're up against at the beginning of the year, so we're not going to worry about it other than just beat the next team in front of you.
Jeff, Army men's lacrosse, a program that you're able to watch from your balcony outside your office inside the Kimsey Center. You've been to some of those Army-Navy games here at West Point. I'll tell you, Jeff, there's nothing you like to see more than if it's not your team, another Army team defeat Navy.
Anytime, anything we do, I want to see Army beat those guys. And so let me tell you, I stand up there and yell my lungs out when we're competing against them in lacrosse. And I've seen some great games and some wins by our Army team over Navy at Mikey Stadium. So that's been a lot of fun. And I've watched some great games there. I remember the last goal when we beat Notre Dame here. We trucked a guy and scored a goal from about 4 feet away. Man, it was incredible. But that's what I admire about Joe and the culture that he has in his program. They are tough and rugged. They play a very physical brand of football, or very physical brand of lacrosse, like we try to play in football. And that it fits Army. It fits who we are as an institution, and likely it fits the kinds of guys that Joe recruits and can get in his program just like us. So I admire that. There's a reason he wins so many games. I get a chance to watch him practice very often from my office as well, and the organization, and there's nobody standing around at their practices. They're always working. As soon as they hit the field, it's organized, and coaches coaching and teaching and correcting, and just a great culture in the program. So it's beyond just having talented players and having good schemes. You gotta have people that believe, and they're fully and completely committed. And I think that's what Joe's gotten. It's what he's created and been able to sustain for so many years.
And after that Notre Dame game, that team should have made the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. I'm not going to bring that up now. Yeah,
it's just,
focus on the next one.
It's just you folks that, hey, next one Saturday, and I know it's on the road, but we travel very well with fans down there to Annapolis. I was there a couple years ago in that NCAA tournament game, that quarterfinal, and that was overrun, it seemed, by Army fans.
Well, yeah, that was a nice day, to go to Marine Corps Stadium and not play Navy. That's pretty good. But we're expecting a great crowd, and in just like in football, in the lacrosse world, the Army-Navy game has special meaning. You know, there's just something different about it. There's a respect for the young people who are part of that game because they know the sacrifices that they made just to be there that day. So, you know, it's not the national stage that football is, but certainly in the lacrosse world, it takes a national stage.
Well, Joe, we appreciate the time. Best of luck on Saturday. I like these games on home sites for Army-Navy lacrosse than neutral sites.
Yeah, very much so.
Well, hey, it's been a great year so far. We've had some big wins, and hopefully another one on Saturday.
Thanks, Rich. I appreciate it, Coach. Thanks for having me on.
Beat Navy.
All right, beat Navy.
Joe Alberici, the Jack Emmer head men's lacrosse coach here at West Point, joining us here on our spring edition of This Week in Army Football. When we come back, we'll be joined by one of those NFL Black Knights, one of our honorary captains for tomorrow night, Long Island's own Elijah Riley. That coming up in just a moment here from the Cadet First Class Club on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
What exactly does MCOR do? For healthcare facilities, we help keep patients and staff safe and comfortable. For data centers, we help the digital economy flow more reliably. For office buildings, we help make work environments secure, efficient, and compliant. In other words, for businesses and industries of every type, at MCOR, we build, power, service, and protect.
Are you a Common Access card holder? DoD civilians with a CAC or CAC card can shop your exchange in-store and online at shopmyexchange.com, accessing military-exclusive prices that are always tax-free. Shopping your exchange strengthens military communities. Just go to shopmyexchange.com/vets and click on the banner welcoming CAC holders for more information. That's shopmyexchange.com/vets.
Army West Point Athletics and the United States Military Academy would like to recognize its Team Army partners. Industry leaders such as Stryker, USAA, Coca-Cola, MCOR, The Exchange, and CBS Sports Network, whose values and beliefs are in line with those of the Academy. Because of the generosity of Team Army members, cadet athletes are ensured of a tremendous athletic experience.
Welcome back to the Cadet First Class Club. Another segment here on This Week in Army Football, our spring edition. Talking Army football, the spring game, the black and gold game, coming up tomorrow night, 6:30 at Michie Stadium. Take your first look at the 2025 Army football team. We talked with our lacrosse coaches, Noto family, head women's lacrosse coach Michelle Tumalo, Jack Emmer, head men's lacrosse coach Joe Alberici, and Jeff Munkin, now one of our 3 honorary captains for tomorrow night. And I'll let you do the introduction.
Man, am I proud of this guy. Elijah Riley. So I remember eating dinner with Elijah and his folks out on Long Island. This is now, oh my God, how long ago is that?
Well, he was a direct admit in 16, right?
Yeah, about 10 years ago now.
Yeah. That was January of 16. Holy smokes. And I mean, just so proud of him and how he's developed as a man, as a leader, and certainly his development as a football player. To come into our program in that season, a starter as a freshman, a 4-year starter, and let me tell you, the road is never easy here, and Elijah's wasn't easy. I mean, there was a season in there where he missed almost the entire first half of the season. Came in the Air Force game, made just some huge plays for us in a win out there in Colorado Springs.
He decked a guy, I want to say, in that game.
He did. I think.
Right, Elijah?
I had fun making that hit too.
Yeah, that's one of the great hits.
It was a great play, and and finish out a great season for us. And then to be able to go on in the National Football League and play multiple years. You know, they don't call the NFL not for long for a reason. It's not for long. It's the not for long league, not the National Football League. It's the not for long league because it's just hard to last. Those are the best football players on the face of the planet. They're paying good money to those guys to play this game. And he's a guy that's been able to stick and sustain and continue to earn a salary. And that tells you what a good football player is and the respect that the coaches in those organizations and the rest of the league has for him as a player. And so I couldn't be more proud. But to see him excelling as a player is one thing. But to see him out there on Long Island at Oceanside for the coaches clinic, and to see him there with his wife and his baby, and being a father and being a husband, and to have him talk to that group of coaches about his foundation and how they are working to develop young people and give young people a chance to succeed and to lead, that just speaks volumes for him and the unselfishness that he has as a human being. And I'm just so proud to see him giving back to that community out there. He's very proud to be from Long Island and always introduced himself as Elijah Riley from Long Island, or Strong Island as he liked to say. But it's just love to see him doing that and not allowing the success and the fame to affect his humility, and he has remained humble, and it happens in life. You learn lessons and you grow as a person, you grow as a man, and you grow in your desire to serve other people. And I've seen that in him, and I'm most proud of him for that. So I'm so glad to have him back here with us.
Elijah Riley, welcome to This Week in Army Football. That was some intro, Elijah.
That's quite the intro, Coach. I really appreciate it.
Love this guy.
Love you too, Coach. Man.
I'll tell you, that plebe year, right? So you're at your senior prom in what, June? Yeah. And then come, what, August, September, you're making plays against Temple down in
playing football
Lincoln
games.
Financial Field, right? Yeah. So unbelievable. And how about the end of that? I would say that second year where it was the Armed Forces Bowl, and on that last play of the game, you took that lateral pass, whatever you want to call it, took it to the house to end that game. That was some football game, right?
At that point, it was just overkill. Kell had already finished the game off.
That's right.
I just got to get a little redemption for how the season went.
So look at you now, and as your coach just laid out, NFL veteran, been with 4 teams, now family. How's it been for you? How's this road been these last, 7? I mean, we're dating Coach Monken here tonight. He had to go back 10 years for that dinner with your family. So we're looking, about 6 years or so you've been in this National Football League.
Yeah, just about. And it's been quite the journey, Not anything that I thought it would be when I was a little kid daydreaming about it. But it's everything I could have asked for and more. It's an experience that I've learned innumerable things and lessons that I learned from peewee coaches, high school coaches, and things that Coach Monken used to share resonate so true even in the highest level. So it's really cool to just have that moment come all the way around full circle. And God is good. Life has been good, man. I think things are headed in a direction that a vision I couldn't see when I was back in college. Things are. I'm seeing the bigger picture, seeing things beyond ball as well, and God is good.
That's amazing. So you're back here. Let's talk about why you're back here. One of 3 honorary captains tomorrow, along with Cole Christensen and John Radigan. How did that come to be? How exciting is that?
Nah, it's great. Nation. Oh, great dude. Love Johnny Radigan. And, of course, Cole's winning 2 Super Bowls and stuff. I got nothing but love for my guys. I'm so happy to see them doing their thing, making plays, and excelling at the highest level. And we're coming from Army and doing that. Mm-hmm. Not that, Army's any, slap around school, but, man, we're a service academy. We didn't have the opportunity to do this years before my class and the years after it came out. So to see those two, Brett, Andre Carter, guys are getting after it, and it's so fun to watch from afar and compete against those guys as well. Johnny and I have gone against each other, which has been so much fun.
I think there's been a photo of you doing a jersey trade after a game, I want to say, right? I think I might have retweeted that one. So
one of my favorite jersey swaps by far.
That's great.
It's just so much more special when it's somebody that you've shared a locker room with already.
How about that, Jeff, as a coach now? You've got players doing jersey swaps in the NFL. That's a moment for you.
It's just so proud. I mean, it's got to be a thrill for them to be able to line up across from each other and then embrace each other after the game and trade jerseys, which is kind of a little bit of a tradition in the league now when there's teammates that square off against each other, and it's fun. I love seeing those pictures and just it puts a smile on my face every time. And I have friends and family that will find those on social media when we put them out, and they'll send them to me in a text message. And there's a lot of people watching, and there are far more folks out there that pay attention to these guys and all of the great things they're doing than they even realize.
Elijah, what's your offseason looking like? I know Jeff had mentioned Coach's Clinic, what you're doing to help shape lives. What's the near future looking for you in regards to the sport of football?
Yeah, training and preparation is always, key. I spent the last year out with a head and neck injury, so recovery from that's been number one. And then Limitless Foundation, what Coach mentioned, that's been the bulk of my time. Getting the opportunity to go back home and serve has filled a gap that I didn't know existed. And it's been such an incredible experience doing it with my best friend from home, Denzel Williams. Just getting the opportunity to grow something from the ground up and serve the kids who are in similar situations to us, and giving them opportunities to meet with pros, and just the exposure to excellence. Not even just ourselves, but professionals in different industries, having outreach programs available, and just serving children and their families the best we can so that they got a head start in life.
Well, we used up a lot of great moments, though. Tell us your favorite moment or moments from your Army football career.
Oof. Number one moment was beating Navy in the snow in 2017.
Great one.
That is top of the list. That experience was so much fun, doing snow angels and then burning the city of Philly down was an incredible time.
It was the extremes, right?
Oh man, we had so much fun. First Commander-in-Chief's trophy, getting to go to the White House that year. Just such a special squad too.
Yep.
Ahmad Bradshaw leading the charge, making history that year, and John Voight making a play that really saved the game.
Yep.
Guys who were in leadership roles doing leader things, making big plays when big plays were required. Obviously, junior year was a year to remember. That was another historic year.
Yep.
At the time, I mean, you guys topped that win percentage this year. But just, favorite moments are truthfully just hanging with my guys in the locker room. Guys like Kelvin Hopkins, Jalen McClinton, Christian Hayes, Jateel Klein, Kel Walker, the guys who, I was in the mud with during the summers as well. So those are some of my best friends. Herbie Hancock, Cam Jones, like Rob Stoddard, guys who I'm still talking, guys who are going to be in my wedding this May. So it's so incredible that I got to meet such great men who I'm continuing to build with, and that I got to once, go to war with on the field. So it's dope.
Well, Elijah, we want to thank you for coming back,
yes,
being part of the spring game tomorrow night, and along with John Radigan, Cole Christensen, your honorary captains, and the best with all you're doing in football and in life. Congratulations. We're proud of you.
Appreciate it, Thank you.
Elijah Riley, West Point, class of 2020, joining us here on This Week in Army Football. When we come back, a couple of questions for Army head coach Jeff Monken. We've gotten through Twitter. We'll ask them in just a moment right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Ankle pain and limited mobility keeping you on the sidelines? Army West Point Athletics has joined forces with Stryker, an expert in foot and ankle surgical solutions. As one of the world's leading medical technology companies, Stryker offers innovative foot and ankle products that help you get back in the game and on your feet so you can keep doing what you love. Visit Stryker.com/WestPoint to learn more and find a specialized surgeon in your area so you can rediscover your freedom of movement.
There's something for everybody to enjoy at West Point Family and MWR. Hit the links at our 18-hole golf course with breathtaking Hudson Valley scenery, or let us host your wedding at our top-class catering venue in the West Point Club. Morgan Farms Historic Stables offers large stalls, outdoor rings, and 3 different horse boarding options in a scenic and private location. Don't forget our very own Victor Constant Ski Lodge. Visit us at westpoint.armymwr.com and follow us on Facebook at West Point FMWR.
Life is full of adventures.
Do you take this man to be your husband?
I do. Welcome home.
We did it. He has your eyes.
He's perfect.
Make the most of them all with PenFed checking and savings accounts. Learn more at PenFed.org. Federally insured by NCUA. To receive any advertised product, you must become a member of PenFed Credit Union.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
And welcome back. Final segment here at the Cadet First Class Club for this week in Army football. Back with Army head coach Jeff Monk. And what special guests we had tonight. 2 lacrosse coaches, Elijah Riley, Joe Alberici, Michelle Tumolo were terrific. Elijah, great show tonight.
That's a star-studded lineup there, Rich.
Big sports weekend. It gets started tomorrow night with the Army football spring game.
Well, that's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope we have some fun and stay healthy. But again, the big day is Saturday, and we got stars on the line, so we got to go win those things. And best of luck to our lacrosse teams, and we got one more star on the line as well. We got 3 this weekend.
Men's tennis,
and if they can go get it done, then again, Star Series is ours. So I hope we can get it done. I'm excited for those athletes and those coaches.
So a question online from Tom Vossman, who's a great supporter to Army football, Army athletics. He's got 2 questions. What are you looking forward to most to see from the spring game in terms of next season's needs? And how do you feel recruiting has gone since the 12-2 conference championship season?
You know, I'll start with the recruiting, and I think we got a good class of guys coming in. I always am cautious about that, and people ask me, how'd recruiting go this year? I said, I'll let you know in 2 years.
Exactly.
After they've been through their plebe year in Beast Barracks or been through the prep school and then a plebe year, that's when you really start to find out. As the spring of their freshman year, you start to get some indication, and into their sophomore season. So, you know, as Irk Russell said, he was the longtime Georgia defensive coordinator and a legendary head coach at Georgia Southern. He said they all come highly recommended. So they were all highly recommended. So I hope they'll all be good players, and we're going to try to develop them and turn them into good players. What I'm hoping to see most tomorrow night is for our guys to just turn it loose and have fun and compete. I want them to compete hard like it's a game. I'd really like to find out a lot about these young guys and see what they do when they're in a game-type situation. There's a lot of guys on our team that we will likely count on this fall that haven't been in a game. We haven't been able to assess them as competitors and how they'll play when they, quote-unquote, say the lights come on. So I'm fired up to see that. Every spring game, I think there's been a guy that's kind of emerged that you're like surprised about. So I'm anxious to see who that might be tomorrow night. More than anything, I want them to enjoy competing against each other, take pride in playing on that Red Blake Field at Mikey Stadium, and come away healthy. So we're ready to go into the summer months to train and into preseason camp next fall.
Well, Jeff, thank you for your time as always. Look forward to this week in Army football this fall.
Thanks for doing this, Rich, and we're looking forward to this fall for sure.
That is Army head coach Jeff Monk, and lots of thank yous to pass along tonight. Danny Ginsburg making the trek up from Jersey to get the audio set. Brett Rory and his team having us live streaming on Army West Point Athletics YouTube channel. Would like to thank the Army men's and women's lacrosse head coaches Joe Alberici, Michelle Tumolo, Elijah Riley joined us. He's going to be one of 3 honorary captains for tomorrow's Army football spring game. game, 6:30 p.m., Mikey Stadium. Admission is free. Make sure you come out. For Army, head coach Jeff Monk and Rich DeMarco saying so long. Thanks for watching, listening. Have a great rest of your week, everyone.
This has been This Week in Army Football, brought to you by Coca-Cola. Tackle game day with a great taste of Coke Zero Sugar. Is it the best Coke ever? The preceding has been a Learfield's presentation on the Army Sports Network.